Hello and welcome back at Automotodrom Brno for race number 2 of the Central European Formula 4. This weekend, the penultimate round of this single-seated championship as well. We have already had one race this weekend, 3, of course, on the program as is usual, and the car's already setting off for the formation lap. It was a home victory yesterday for Max Karhan. Third victory of the season for the Czech driver as he dominated proceedings yesterday. He got ahead of the pole sitter Kirill Kuckov in the beginning of the race, and although Kuckov was reeling him in rather quickly towards the end of the race, Max really managed to control his pace and use up all the gap that he had to his advantage, and was never actually really troubled in the fight for the victory. And with Oscar Wirtz, the championship leader, not scoring really well. I mean, it wasn't a terrible race for the young Austrian, but with him not scoring that well, the championship fight is actually getting closer and closer. But this is your starting order for race number 2 with Max Karhan, yesterday's winner, on pole position. Alongside him, Kirill Kuckov, Miroslav Mikeš in third from Joanne Sikont, the young Australian female driver. A young girl that is cutting her teeth in the single-seater motorsport, and she did incredibly well yesterday in her first appearance in the Formula 4 Central European Zone field as she scored that 4th place. Oscar Wirtz in 5th, Simon Schranz in 6th from Nathaniel Bereby and Michalina Sabaj on row number 4, Kornelia Olkucka and Marek Mičík row number 5, and František Němec completing the field in 11th. We have got exactly the same order as yesterday's races results as is usual, and then we will have a reverse grid order for second race today, which will be, of course, a third race of the weekend. Championship standings, that's what is definitely very much interesting, because it is still Oscar Wirtz leading with quite some margin, that needs to be said, but that has been shrinking in the past races. His last victory to date still remains the one from Slovakia. That was race number 2 at the Slovakia ring. No victory for Oscar Wirtz in Most, and so far, of course, no victory here in Brno. Oscar Wirtz sitting at the top of the standings at 214 points to his name. Kirill Kuckov in second with 176. So that would be a 38-point difference between the two. And then Max Karhan getting closer and closer himself, 157 points. So he is further 19 points away from Kirill Kuckov. Mind you, further 21 points behind Karhan is his compatriot Miroslav Mikeš in 4th at 136 points. Mathematical chances for the title for him as well. So the drivers are getting back on the start and finish straight to the starting grid to take their grid spots. And then we will get going again here in Brno. The green flag is now in the air, signaling that everything is ready for the starting procedure to begin. So the red lights are now coming on. And we are away in Brno with Max Karhan from pole position, immediately defending from Kuckov, trying to cut across him, but only just. Miroslav Mikeš having a great getaway around the outside. He surprised everybody and he goes into the race lead. Fantastic stuff by Miroslav Mikeš, taking the lead on his home soil off the hands of his countryman Max Karhan. And it is Mikeš leading us out, leading us away from the start. Max Karhan immediately had to focus on Kirill Kuckov, but couldn't really fight on two fronts at once, and it was Miroslav Mikeš taking the lead off his hands. So it is Mikeš in first from Karhan and Kirill Kuckov Oscar Wirtz trying to make up ground. He is now up to 4th, having dealt with Joanne Sikont, and she is trying to fight back. There's then Simon Schranz fighting with Nathaniel Bereby. Simon Schranz with the red sidewalls of his rear wing to make up for an Austrian flag. We are now at the stadium section with Mikesh leading and getting in comfort to set the pace and set the tone for the beginning of this race. 25-minute action, of course, planned for us this morning as well, or actually right before noon. Oscar Wirtz already going defensive. And Simon Schranz trying to fight towards the front as we are completing the first lap of the race. There is Miroslav Mikesh leading the way after the opening lap of the race. Max Karhan in close second from Kirill Kutskov. Oscar Wirtz in 4th. There is a fight through the first corner. It's actually Nathaniel Bereby up to 5th, and now defending from Simon Schranz. They were side by side through the first corner. Joanne Sikon dropping 3 places. She's down to 7th now, and Simon Schranz coming through. Bereby not happy about that, retakes that spot. But is he going to make it round? Yes, he is for the moment, but they are lining up for another one. This is the crucial right-hander where we start to go downhill. Mikesh leading from Karhan and Kirill Kutskov. Oscar Wirtz in 4th. Bereby back to 5th from Simon Schranz. Nice attempt from the young Austrian, but couldn't really make it stick. Joanne Sikon behind them in 7th from František Němec, who has made up 3 places from the start and moved himself up to 8th. From Michalina Sabaj, Kornelia Olkucka and Marek Michik dropping to the last for the moment. There are the race leaders. Mikesh coming under pressure from Karhan. Both of these drivers have already tasted victory this season, and the one on the home soil is the one that you really want to get. Max Karhan already, of course, victorious in Most on his home soil. Miroslav Mikesh taking a victory in Most as well in race number 1. So both of these drivers have already tasted home success, and they are now at each other's throat for the race to victory. Max Karhan already enjoying one yesterday, but hungry for more. Around the first corner they go. Miroslav Mikesh leaving the door open, having outbraked himself a tiny little bit, going defensive. Max Karhan takes the lead off the hands of Miroslav Mikesh, but they are still going alongside one another into the second corner. Down the inside goes Mikesh, but round the outside defends Max Karhan, and the next one is actually on his hand, so Max Karhan retakes the lead of the race on lap number 3. And Kirill Kutskov also getting close. He needs those points just as well. All these 3 drivers are now fighting hard against the championship leader Oscar Wirtz, who is 4th currently and not really keeping up with the race leaders. You can already see from the drone view the large gap between 3rd placed Kutskov and 4th placed championship leader Oscar Wirtz. 3 seconds already behind Kutskov for the moment. Bereby behind him in 5th from Simon Schranz, and Joanne Sikont in 7th. Max Karhan already lapping faster, setting faster sectors than the two drivers behind him, trying to disappear with the newly gained first position. We've done the first 6 minutes of the race. Further 19 ahead of us. It's a long race, actually. It is a 25-minute sprint, but it can really feel like forever. We've got a mistake further down the field. That was Simon Schranz putting two wheels on the gravel, having used way too much curb and going really wide, exiting the S's corner. An interesting angle for you from the drone. Max Karhan immediately setting the fastest lap of the race at 2:05.6. Miroslav Mikeš 2:06.9. So Karhan immediately putting a full second in between himself and the rest of the pack. There is your race leader. Mira Mikeš having to focus on his rearview mirrors. Kutskov being really close behind. Miroslav Mikeš scoring that one victory on his home soil in Most in the beginning of August. To which he has added 3 further podium finishes. And Kirill Kutskov trying to make a move and tagging Mikeš into a spin. That was not a good one, and Mikeš immediately losing a lot more ground and dropping down to 6th. That was an overly optimistic move from Kirill Kutskov. Similar stuff like in the TCR race just a couple of moments back. This is Max Karhan. He's already gone away with it, so that he's not troubled by any drama unraveling behind his back. But it was Kirill Kutskov trying to send it down the inside, exiting the stadium section. But he was really late at the party, and all he could do was tag Miroslav Mikeš into a spin, and that must result in a penalty. Should we take the precedent from the contact from earlier on, from the TCR race, similar sort of stuff. He was nowhere near, and he was nowhere near alongside Miroslav Mikeš, simply hitting him, tagging him in, sending him into a spin. Miroslav Mikeš continuing, but dropping down to, is it 5th? Kirill Kutskov, well, at least on the live timing screen dropping down the order, but is he really, or is that some sort of a technical glitch? Kutskov did not enter the pit lane. He continues in the race, and that means that he must still be up front. So for the moment it is Max Karhan definitely leading, but who's second? I believe it's still Kutskov, despite what the graphics tells you. We've got a slight glitch in the live timing, and that shows us Kutskov all the way at the back of the field. But is it so? We need a physical confirmation of that, because if Kutskov is out of this one, then it means that the championship story has just taken another turn, and we are probably going to have a safety car. So this would mean and appear that Kirill Kutskov has probably retired somewhere. The live timing screen definitely shows, well, Max Karhan in first, that is absolutely undisputed, but Oscar Wirtz up into second, which might be, depending on where is Kirill Kutskov, the second placed man in the championship. I'm really trying to find him on one of the cameras that we have got at our disposal. Let's recollect all of the drivers behind the safety car. So it is Max Karhan and the second place man is another Yenza car, so it is indeed Oscar Wirtz up to second, so the live timing is not lying currently. So it's Nathaniel Bereby up to third, Simon Schranz up to fourth, Miroslav Mikeš down to fifth, Johan Sikont in sixth from Kornelia Olkucka, and we now see Kirill Kuckov in the gravel on one of the cameras. Let's see if we can give you that shot. But the car number 31 is out of this race. There he is, hidden away from the view slightly. We really had to look for him, and we found him somewhere behind some trees. There he is, Kirill Kuckov, and that is a terrible, terrible piece of bad luck for the young Kyrgyzstani driver, who was fighting for second and potentially later on even for the race victory, but he is now out of contention in race number 2. And this is just a couple of corners past the spot where Kuckov sent Miroslav Mikeš spinning. And so it is a Yenza Motorsport 1-2 for the moment. Max Karhan leading from Oscar Wirtz, Nathaniel Bereby in third from Simon Schranz, Miroslav Mikeš, Johan Sikont, Kornelia Olkucka, Michalina Sabaj, František Němec and Marek Mičík completing the top 10. Kirill Kuckov out of the race already. So he now needs to be rescued out of the gravel trap. So the entire field that's left in the race, of course, has been recollected behind the safety car. So we now need to wait for the car of Kirill Kuckov to be cleared away. And that is naturally a big blow for the championship chances and hopes for Kirill Kuckov. Because if we check the championship standings once again, as I mentioned, Kirill Kuckov trailing Oscar Wirtz by 38 points. And that gap is very probably going to get extended even further still, should of course Oscar Wirtz finish the race, preferably somewhere around where he currently is. But this is opening the race up for Oscar Wirtz. The young Austrian can be challenging his teammate Max Karhan. Karhan took victory yesterday, will definitely fight hard to keep this one as well. And this is helping Max Karhan dramatically, because he is only 19 points behind Kuckov, and if he takes this victory, it will mean then that the local driver will move himself up to second in the championship, and he of course himself needs to chop off further a couple of points at least off the lead of his teammate Oscar Wirtz to keep the championship hopes alive. We will still have another race later on today around 4 p.m. and then 3 more races in Austria at the Salzburg Ring circuit towards the end of September. So still the championship fight very much open. It started in such a dominant fashion for Oscar Wirtz. He scored the first 2 victories and won second place at Balaton Park. Then he had a slower round at Red Bull Ring, but his main championship rivals Kirill Kuckov and Max Karhan didn't score any points back then. They were back in Slovakia, where Oscar Wirtz presented the same success as at Balaton Park. So 2 victories, 1 second place to extend his championship lead even further still, and that's where things started to look dominant for the young Austrian, of course a son of a very well-known Formula 1 driver, or former Formula 1 driver, Alex Wirtz. But then things started to fall apart a little bit for Wirtz, as he had, well, 2 third places and one low-key result with 4 points in race number 2 in Most, which saw his championship gap, a championship lead, reduce significantly against Kuckov and Karhan. And the second to last round here in Brno has also not been going exactly up to plan for the young Austrian. But with Kuckov now out of the view and cleared not only out of the race but also off the track, this is now reinvigorating the championship situation for both the Enza Motorsport cars, actually. So the safety car back in the pits, one of the rescue vehicles still reversing back behind the barriers, but that will be done, will have been done by the time we reach that spot in another lap's time. And the race goes green again, with 2 Jensen machines leading a 1-2 currently. Max Karhan ahead of his teammate Oscar Wirtz, 0.8 of a second across the line, so a good restart by the local driver. Similar thing can't be really said about Bereby, who's already lost more than 1 second across the line, and he is now coming under pressure from Simon Schranz. Schranz having a look down the inside. That was very close for comfort, very nearly another contact and another one. Really close fights for 3rd, 4th and 5th. Bereby, Schranz and Mikesh coming together for that one. Schranz having another look. Miroslav Mikesh trying to look left and right and check whether there is any chance for him to regain some places, as he was leading the race in the beginning, now down to 5th due to the tag from Kuckov. Kuckov's car in the meantime is being put on the flatbed truck as we are exiting the stadium section with the race leaders. Bereby fighting for a podium. And that, of course, would be his first in the championship, as this is his debut in the Central European Formula 4. And so it is for Simon Schranz, also taking part in the championship for the first time. Just over 6 minutes left in this race. Karhan completing the first lap after the restart. How about his gap over his teammate? And how about his lap times? Max Karhan extending that lead to 1.6 seconds, 2:06.6. Oscar Wirtz 2:07.5. Nearly a full second that Max Karhan managed to lap faster than his teammate. He's got to think about his tyres, not like Joanne Sikont, who found herself really going sideways through the first corner. And now coming under pressure from Kornelia Olkucka and Michalina Sabaj. Nathaniel Bereby under more pressure, and this is Kornelia Olkucka having a look down the inside on Joanne Sikont. The 2 young ladies now going side by side together onto the stadium section. Nice fight for 6th in this race. And it is Joanne, the young Australian driver, now on the inside line, which should be preferable. But for how long is the question. And now there is another attempt. Ooh, that was Michalina Sabaj getting really too close for comfort, and very nearly repeating the same mistake as Kirill Kuckov a little earlier on. Now it is Kornelia Olkucka having a look around the outside, locking up a little bit. This is getting interesting. around the outside. Is she gonna make it stick? No. But that would have been one of the best passes of the weekend. Unfortunately, Kornelia Olkucka couldn't complete that one, but she's still very close indeed. Ooh, that was a touch. There was a touch. And Joanne Sikont down the inside, defending. And does she have a puncture? Or did she simply outbrake herself? I don't really like the way that yellow car is going, but it appears that everything seems to be fine. It was just a bad line through the final couple of corners, and that is helping Kornelia Olkucka through. There was a slight touch between the front wing of Olkucka and the right rear wheel, or right rear tire of Joanne Sikont. Luckily, both girls could get away with that one. And now it is Sikont's teammate Michalina Sabai trying to come through. They are now running side by side. Into the left-hander, Sikont lining herself up for a repass. And that one is successful for the moment, but they are still alongside one another going downhill. And it's now Michalina Sabai prevailing. Both predominantly, well, both yellow, white and black cars, with Michalina Sabai having the extra red stripe running along the entire car. That's the way that you can actually distinguish her from her teammate Joanne Sikont. Both of them racing for AS Motorsport Slovenia. And with just over 2 minutes remaining, we are about to commence the final lap of this race, race number 2 of the penultimate weekend here in Brno. Simon Schranz using every millimeter of the track. And even a bit beyond that. But it is the local driver, the local boy, Max Karhan, dominating the proceedings today. His dominance was slightly questioned by Kirill Kutskov yesterday, as Kutskov had a really fast pace towards the end of the race, with Karhan in the end holding on to the race victory. But today, look at him having such a great measure over the championship leader Oscar Wirtz. 4.4 seconds between them already, but this is the fight for the remaining podium spot. It's Bereby defending against Simon Schranz. Both of these drivers debuting this weekend, both of these attempting to get that first podium for themselves. But who is going to come out on top? So far it is still the Swiss driver Nathaniel Bereby remaining in third, but Simon Schranz sending in once again down the inside. Not a lot of space there for both of the drivers. Simon Schranz down the inside. That was very close indeed, and they are still going to remain very close together. Now it is Schranz up ahead, but Nathaniel Bereby trying to fight back immediately. This is the last lap of the race. This is now for the podium. Is he going to send it? Yes, he is. What's going to come out of this one? They are alongside one another yet again, and it is Nathaniel Bereby retaking the third place for himself. So it is now the podium finish going the Swiss way. But for how long? Still a couple of corners left, and still Miroslav Mikeš waiting close behind. 3, 2, 1, and the time is up. So this is your race leader. Now that's Oscar Wirtz, the car number 25. We've got the race leader further up front, I believe. But this is the final lap of the race, and back onto the start and finish straight we go. Max Karhan dominated yesterday, dominates today. Fantastic victory for the local driver, and it is a victory number 4. Oscar Wirtz coming home second. And with this win, Max Karhan is already matching the victory tally of his teammate and the championship leader Oscar Wirtz. And the championship is now getting closer once again. Nathaniel Berebe holding on to third, so it is going to be a first podium place for the Swiss driver on his debut weekend in the Central European Formula 4, with Simon Schranz finishing in close fourth from the erstwhile race leader, Miroslav Mikeš. It was a great start from Mikeš, but he couldn't really hold on to it and then got tagged into a spin by Kirill Kuckov, who has not seen the checkered flag. We have got Kornelia Olkucká sixth on the road from Michalina Sabaj, Joanne Second, František Němec and Marek Mičík, with Kirill Kuckov the only driver that didn't make it across the line. These are the results for you. Max Karhan scoring a fourth victory of the season, and what a dominant performance that was from the local driver. So the spectators in the grandstands can cheer for the home hero. He made his debut in the Formula 4 last season at Most, and he has got better and better with every single weekend. Also improving his skills on the simulator that he and his team and his supporters are bringing to the races. And Max Karhan getting better and better with every single weekend, and now matching the performance, and even surpassing the performance of his teammate, and still the championship leader, Oscar Wirtz. And this championship fight is just getting more and more and more interesting with every single race.